After the governor said her piece, lawmakers from both parties spoke out, with each declaring the ruling a victory for their side. Not in Your Side's Craig Smith live in Phoenix to explain why today's ruling will likely lead to more immigration bills.
Well, Guy, we actually expected to see a fairly strong turnout of protesters here at the state capitol today. They were fairly subdued, but legislators on both sides were speaking out.
You're here legally? Fine. You're here illegally?
Yes, I am.
Get out.
Yeah, no.
The Capitol Plaza was less of a battleground than usual, with just a handful of people trying to outshout each other.
You will never know the Mexican
You
people.
ain't taking over this country. And you
Well,
ain't
we're here
taking over
already.
this
Come on
state.
down.
Republican lawmakers held a news conference to say they regard the Supreme Court ruling as a real endorsement of what they see as the most important part of the law. House Majority Leader Andy Biggs says lawmakers may use the Supreme Court ruling as a guide to restore parts of 1070 the court struck down and perhaps write new immigration law.
I would anticipate some form of legislation by one of my 90 colleagues who I can't crystal ball and see what each one of them has in mind.
Tucson Democratic State Rep Steve Farley says Arizona should stop writing immigration law and push for a broader federal solution. He says 1070 was more about whipping up partisan politics than solving the problem.
Folks like that are much happier when there's a problem ongoing that they can scream about and get a lot of support and fearmonger about. The fact is, if we actually just put the partisan bickering aside and sat down together, we could secure our borders, we could crack down on the criminals, and we could solve the problem.
Pima County Republican Rep Vic Williams supported 1070 and sees the ruling as confirmation states have the right to enforce immigration law. But he wants to go farther towards immigration reform.
We need to start reducing the services that we provide people that are here illegally. We need to put some teeth into an employer sanction law and penalize employers who are doing this. And as importantly, we need a guest worker program.
Now, lawmakers are still analyzing these provisions to learn what they really mean in the long run. Now, Republicans are happy to point out that many parts of 1070 were affirmed by the lower courts without ever even going to the Supreme Court for review. Now, particularly, they talk about the sanctuary city provision, which forbids cities from formally deciding they will ignore immigration violations.
Craig, Aaron just told me that it was 108 degrees there at the state capitol today. Do you think that was part of the reason you didn't see more people demonstrating?
Well, that would be very sensible demonstrators, but yes, it was really pretty hot out here, and it was starting to get to those of us who are out in these outdoor news conferences and such. But I don't know. I think the folks on both sides are determined enough that if they want to come out and demonstrate, they would have pushed their way through the heat.
All right, Craig, thank you.